Hey, welcome back to 8.3. Here we're trying to build a model to create a fishnet map for a study area. So the study area for our purposes is going to be Pittsburgh. So let's get started with an empty map document, and I'm going to add data from the city GDB, which is under Pittsburgh folder under data. I'm going to go to city GDB. I'm going to add my Pittsburgh city boundary to the map, and here I'm gonna rename this layer as study area, and then I'm going to use a hollow symbology and give it a line weight of some sort, then click OK. So we need to create a fishnet for this study area, which would be 1000 feet by 1000 feet, and in order to it's not just creating a study area, a fishnet study area, but we need to create this using model builder. So the first task here is to actually go to our catalog, click on SRA Press, GIS T1, your assignment folder, chapter 8, click on new file geodatabase and call it assignment 8-3, and then I'm going to create a new toolbox called assignment 8-3, and here I'm going to store all my results here, and I'm going to create a model that we will add a new model that we will use to actually finish this assignment. Okay, so the first step here is to create a fishnet. So I'm going to click on my search toolbar and search for fishnet and create fishnet. I'm going to drag and drop that to the model, and then I'm going to open that, and in the template extent I'm going to choose same as study area. For the output feature class, I'm going to select SRF Press, GIS T1, my assignments, chapter 8. I'm going to store it here, and I'm going to call it PGH fish. So now that it's in there, so the book sort of explains how to calculate the number of cells you need. I mean, number of rows you would have to create if the cell size width is 1000 by 1000, which is a square. So let's see. It says subtract 433. Take a calculator, edit, paste, and subtract from that this number. It's equal to, and then divide that by 1000, and then say plus 1. Usually add 1 just to 52 or 53, rounded down usually. So I'm gonna go with 52. 52 for rows, 52, and then the same way I'm gonna use 65 for columns. Okay, that's how you actually, based on the extent of the study area, I'm gonna calculate the number of rows and columns I would need. And then for the geometry type, I'm gonna select polygon. I'm gonna click apply, click OK. So now I got my variables that I need. But okay, and then the next step is to actually they say the next step is to actually create some modal variables. So from parameter, cell number of rows, number of columns, So these will be the variables that you will be able to control if you are working on a different study area, and then make variable from parameter, cell size width. I'm gonna rename that as cell size, and cell size is 1000. Okay, and then add this as cell size width, cell width. Both of them are cell width, so I'm just going to click on one of them, click delete, use the connect toolbar to drag it back onto the model itself, the tool itself, and use that for cell size height and cell width. The best part here is it's going to give you like a pop-up saying what this variable is doing, what it is contributing to the in terms of the model. So that is useful. So the next step is to actually let's go ahead and run this part of the model, which is a partial run. Again, nothing is added, so we need to right click and say actually we don't need to add this to display perhaps, because we can go ahead and add it if you want, but I wouldn't. Add to display, as you can see, we created this PGH labels and fish, but this is not a finished product, so I'm gonna remove these two and then click on uncheck add to display. The next step here is to do a spatial join. Spatial join, look for tools, spatial join analysis. Okay, drag and drop that onto the map. So I'm gonna join my target feature, means the attributes of the target features and the attributes from the join features. So the target feature is the PGH fish and the join feature is the study area. So once I have those, I'm gonna save this into my PGH fish label spatial join. So I'm just gonna copy that name. We'll come back to naming and cleaning up this model a little later. Right now what I want to do is make sure all my variables and all my tools are in the model. So as you can see here, I got my spatial join taken care of, the second part, and then I have my, let's do that. That's actually visually more appealing to me, so I'm gonna go with that. And then the next step is to so now let's go ahead and join this. I'm gonna go ahead and run this model. So it's spatially joined. So let me show you what's happening in the background. I'm gonna add this to the display. So when I minimize this, I want to open this attribute table. So now what happened is we have something called we got all the variables of the study area into the fishnet layer. So as you can see, descending, if I do descending and I'm going to click on select by attributes, and if I do name is equal to get unique values Pittsburgh, apply. So that's the fishnet we need, so the rest is irrelevant. So this exact same step while exporting the data into a feature class on its own is what we need to do using the model. So I'm gonna close and clear the selected, and I'm going to go back and say don't add this to display. I'm gonna remove that layer, but I know that step is finished. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and add my select, add my select analysis tool to the model, and then I'm gonna drag and drop this as input features, And now I'm gonna open this and say, for the query, I'm going to query this as the same query that we ran before. Name is essentially, to keep it simple, since we need only Pittsburgh, we can say is equal to Pittsburgh. But the thing is, for a different study area, the name could be different. So what I want to say is name is not null. So it's the same thing essentially. So I'm going to go with that and then click apply, which means it is selecting all the ones which are not null, which means it is selecting the ones we actually need. Then I'm going to select save this as PGH fishnet finished, PGH fishnet finished. Click on save and click apply, click OK. So this would be a modal parameter. Anyways, we'll come back to that. So once that is done, let's run this. So let's see what the result is going to look like. Add this to the map, and voila, we have our fishnet steady area fishnet. So the next step is to actually process all these labels, the fishnet labels. So if I add that to display, I still have all these additional labels that I don't need. What I need to do is clip this. So I'm going to go back to my search and I'm going to select clip analysis and drag and drop this to the map, and the PGH label, I want to clip this with my clip features is essentially my steady area. So I'm going to use that, and then I'm not going to use any tolerance, or actually for the clip features we can use the PGH net finished layer. It'll be much easier that way because it's going to clip all the ones that intersect with this. So I'm going to use those. Click apply, click OK. So if I auto arrange this, that's how it's going to look like. And now I'm gonna run this and then add this result to the map. See, we have created what we are supposed to create, and now I can essentially say the fishnet, let's look at this attribute table. So anyways, I'm gonna change this icon to maybe slight red, edit symbol, no outline, maybe 3, and then I'm going to use the fishnet. Fishnet's gonna be I don't know, any color you want it to be, and then I'm gonna put my steady area on top, and that's the fishnet exercise assignment 8.3 essentially. But we still need to clean up this model. We need to create, so a couple of steps before we are done. We need to make these all model parameters, and then we need to create a model parameter for this steady area, so that we can enter the steady area. And then we also need to create model parameters for this, and then this one, so that these two are the ones that we need to add to the map, then nothing else really matters. And then we need to rename some of these, which would reflect something like this. So we can call this steady area fish or something. I'm gonna rename this as steady fish net, and we're gonna call this as rename fishnet spatial join, and then this can be fishnet finished, or just call fishnet finished, and then this will be pgh fishnet labels, fishnet label finished. So something like that, and maybe you can add some notes or maybe label this if you want to, and then maybe go back and say go to model properties and make sure your model is named as, again, model is named as fishnet study area, not dishnet, fishnet study area, and the label will be fishnet study area. Click on apply, click OK, and that's it. That's what you need to create, and you have finished your assignment 8.3. So again, make sure when you go to catalog, double click on fishnet study area that we just created. You got cell size, number of rows, column, study area, and then you can save your final 2 files. Excellent, that's exactly what we need. So I'm gonna let you finish your assignments, and good luck.